You are listening to The Vocal Technologist. Spoken tech for your ears.
Welcome back. You know, sometimes it feels like the tech world it hits ludicrous speed between our chats.
Haha, it really does.
I mean, we talk about Product Thursdays, and in the time it takes for a Thursday to roll around again, there are new tools, new metrics, new philosophies even. It's a lot.
It is. It's the reality of what we're all doing now. And that's really why we're here today, for you. The goal is simple. We've gone through a huge stack of recent thinking from some of the smartest people in product.
Everything from strategy to, I mean, the nitty-gritty of AI's role now.
Exactly. And our mission is just to cut through all the chatter and pull out the things you can actually use to give you some real clarity.
Right. We're not just theorizing here. We're looking at what people are doing, what's working, and figuring out what matters right now so you can go and apply it.
So I guess the big question we're trying to answer is, how do we actually build successful products when everything is changing at once? The tools, the rules, even how customers find us.
Okay, let's get into it. And for me, the biggest sort of philosophical shift in all the material we looked at was about brand.
Right.
Brand was always this, this thing that marketing did. It was in a silo way over there.
And now it's a product job, fundamentally.
And it's fascinating how deep that redefinition goes. It's not just about, running expensive ad campaigns anymore.
Not at all. The idea is that brand is built, really built through the product experience itself. Think about it. Marketing might get someone's attention.
But the product has to earn their love.
That's it, exactly. It has to make them feel something. It has to reflect a certain taste.
Yeah.
If the experience is clunky or, just doesn't connect emotionally, then all that money you spent to get that user is basically wasted.
So product teams have to be more like creative directors almost, not just people building a utility.
Yes. And that whole idea gets put on hyperspeed because of AI. The pace of ideation is just accelerating.
I saw the numbers on this. AI is apparently letting teams prototype and share ideas up to 10 times faster.
10 times.
Faster. That's not just a small improvement.
It's a revolution.
Yeah.
It means you're not just shipping more stuff. Your feedback loops are radically shorter. And in theory, your designs should be better because the tools can pull from thousands of great UX patterns instantly.
But that speed demands discipline, right?
Right.
Otherwise, you're just failing faster.
You just hit the absolute core of it. Discipline. When you look at what it takes to actually ship, say, a brand new mobile app, success isn't about how many features you can generate.
It's about the planning.
It's about the planning and the execution.
Yeah.
You have to treat these AI tools as strategic partners, not just a feature factory. You use them for iteration, you build with feature flags, you focus on learning, and you resist that temptation to just push something out because you could.
And speaking of discipline, it goes all the way down to how you talk to the AI, right? I know you love a good practical tip, and there were some really specific ones for models like ChatGPT-5.
Oh yeah, this is so important. It's not just what you ask, it's how you ask. To get the best results, you have to structure your prompt. You have to deliberately trigger the model's advanced reasoning.
How do you do that?
You use certain keywords, phrases like think deeply at the start of the prompt. You tell it exactly how long you want the output to be. And here's the real key. You format your inputs using XML.
XML, why that specifically?
Because it forces precision. It removes ambiguity. Instead of just writing a paragraph, you use tags like Roland Fay. I want you to be a user research analyst, Roland L, and then task synthesize these 5 interviews on pricing tasks.
I see. So it's like giving it a very clear job description and a to-do list.
Exactly. It parses that way more reliably than just free-form text. The output is cleaner, more consistent. It's a game changer.
That's a great tip. Okay, so we're building 10 times faster. We're being precise with our prompts. But how do we know we're even measuring the right thing? This is where it felt like the old rulebook is being torn up.
It is being torn up. And this is a direct result of AI agents and LLM search. For years, traffic was the North Star. More traffic, more growth.
Simple enough.
But now, traffic is becoming an unreliable metric. Because AI agents are doing the work for the user. They summarize, they compare, they act. The user might get their answer without ever clicking through to your site.
So the top of the funnel is just gone, bypassed.
In many cases, yes. So the new measure of success shifts completely. You have to optimize for the LLMs themselves.
And what does that mean, practically?
It means tuning your content for 3 things: visibility, comprehension, and conversion. And comprehension is the one people miss. If the LLM can't clearly understand your product's value from your content, it can't recommend you. It's that simple.
This is where we get the reality check, though.
Yeah.
We hear all these big success stories, but the actual data is, well, it's brutal.
It is. Only 3.5% of SaaS startups ever reach $20 million in ARR.
Just 3.5%. That's a really stark lesson in just how hard compounding growth actually is.
It is. And it shows that most companies don't fail because their initial product was bad. They fail because they couldn't sustain and scale that growth. The winners, the ones in that tiny percentage, they are constantly reinventing themselves.
So that's not about one big launch.
It's about relentless, small, steady improvements, always in 3 key areas: your pricing, your retention, and your revenue mix. That's it.
That focus, that relentlessness, it ties right back to discipline. And the idea of constraints kept coming up, specifically this concept of enabling constraints.
Yeah, things like the shape-up methodology.
Right. Tell me more about that.
Well, enabling constraints are powerful, but only if they're applied thoughtfully and, the culture supports it. It's not about just restricting people for no reason.
So with Shape Up, for example.
You're using fixed time cycles, say 6 weeks. But the scope of what you build in that time is variable. That limit forces focus. It forces creativity. It kills feature creep because you simply don't have time for it.
And that kind of discipline, it requires a huge amount of trust. We saw some really strong lessons from places like Palantir about this.
Oh, absolutely. The idea that high-impact products are born from these incredibly tight product engineering partnerships.
What makes them work?
It's grounded in accountability, deep immersion in the field so everyone actually understands the user's real problem, and just shared ownership. If you don't have that trust, every decision becomes slow and political.
And part of that discipline is knowing what not to do. Let's talk about the big warning sign, the quick win.
Ah, yes. The most dangerous phrase in product development.
Why? It sounds so good.
Because it's almost always a trap. The quick win is often just the tip of an iceberg of complexity. What looks simple on the surface can turn into this huge, costly detour that just racks up technical debt and pulls you off strategy.
Resisting that short-term dopamine hit.
It's one of the hardest parts of the job. And resisting it, that takes a different kind of leadership, which I think is a good place to go next.
Yeah, the whole leadership toolkit required for these very uncertain times.
Leaders today are navigating a really tough environment. It's not just about managing through a layoff. It's about managing through the constant fear of one.
That's a huge emotional weight. How do you coach a team when that's hanging over their heads?
The only way through is with just radical honesty. You have to be straight with people, and you have to focus the team relentlessly on what they can actually control.
And on their impact.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not about telling them, don't worry, you'll survive. It's about showing them, here's how your work matters right now. That's what builds resilience when everything feels unstable.
So leadership becomes less about command and control.
And much more about empowering and supporting. The most effective leaders, what they do is they empower their teams, they create absolute clarity on the mission, and they lead by example. They coach more than they command, and they always prioritize people over process.
And a huge part of that, of prioritizing people, is just mastering the art of asking better questions. It's something we talk about a lot here on Vocal Technologists, the power of real dialogue.
Well, great questions come from genuine curiosity and empathy. If you just approach a conversation wanting to understand, and you really listen, and you make it safe for people to be honest, that's where the real insights come from.
It's that psychological safety. It's the foundation for everything.
It really is.
We also saw this really powerful reflection on purpose. It was from the founder of Madoma, Johan Nordenstrom, after his company had a huge exit.
Yeah, he got the big win.
He did. And what did he realize?
He realized that hitting those giant financial goals can feel hollow if they aren't connected to something deeper. His takeaway was that real wealth isn't the exit number. It's time, it's freedom, and it's the people you share it with.
Wow. That's a powerful lesson for anyone building these hyper-optimized machines we call products. Make sure the machine is serving a real human purpose.
Maybe said it better myself.
Okay, that feels like a great way to tie all this together. We've talked about the shift to brand as an emotion, the incredible discipline needed for growth in this new AI-driven world, and the empathetic leadership that holds it all together.
So my challenge to you, the listener, is to take that lesson on constraints and apply it this week. Just find one place. How can you apply one thoughtful constraint, maybe a hard time box, or limited resources on a prototype to force focus and creativity in what you're doing right now?
I love that, a direct challenge. But let's leave you with one final thought to mull over, building on that massive shift we discussed. If AI agents are turning the browser into a proactive, collaborative platform, meaning the user talks to the agent first, not your website.
Yeah.
What is the one fundamental skill a product manager has to master to build something that serves an intelligent agent instead of just a human user?
A big question.
A very big question. Think about that one. Until next time.
Spoken Tech for your ears.